everybody. We'll get going. And the first thing journalism students have to learn is to adhere to deadlines. And we just blew one big time, but thank you for hanging around. I'm not usually one for omens, but I have to say that when I heard it was going to be sunny and 65 today, I thought that's a pretty good sign. As you see from the banner today, we are announcing something very special. A longtime friend of this college, Annapolis publisher Philip Merrill, is donating $10 million to the college. In recognition of this magnificent gift, the Board of Regents has voted to rechristen our college the Philip Merrill College of Journalism. Phil and his wife Ellie, and Ellie is a longtime chairman of our Board of Visitors, will be formally introduced in just a moment, but for now I'd like them to just sort of wave a hand so everybody can see them and to be recognized. Especially for you students, and thank you for coming out, I wanted to make a few points about this particular gift. Unlike most gifts of this scope, this is not an endowment. It's unusual in that Phil recognizes that this is a very propitious moment in the history of the college. He wants the money to be spent now so that it can have real impact. And so over the next 10 or 12 years, we're going to be able to do things like devote nearly $4 million in scholarships, fellowships, assistantships. We are going to create 3 new chairs, Merrill chairs in journalism, and augment our already stellar faculty with additional positions. It's going to allow us to buy some new equipment and to maintain the equipment we have. It's going to allow us to compete aggressively on a fairly level footing with our competitors, and generally put us in position to put out a program that is unsurpassed by any other journalism school in the nation. This university has had other major gifts to other units, gifts of like $15 million to other schools, and these are incredibly generous gifts, but these were large units, schools of 4,000, 5,000 students. As most of you know, the College of Journalism is fairly small, about 525 undergraduate students, right now about 70 graduate students. If you amortize the Merrill gift, if you prorate it per student or per full-time faculty, about 2 dozen faculty, the scope is stunning, and it'll give you an idea of what kind of impact we can make within the college. And the last thing I want to emphasize is that this is a start. It's a wonderful start, but it is a start because we're also announcing today that we are inaugurating a 3-year capital campaign of excellence. In addition to the $10 million gift from the Merrills, we are going to try and raise another $20 million over the next 3 years because we want the money for increased enhancement of faculty, for even more scholarships, for recruiting even better students, to make sure that we're technologically state-of-the-art, and to be honest with you, we're trying to raise a fair amount of it toward a new journalism building. The hope is that if we can raise $7 or $8 million, we can turn around and try and help the state, persuade the state to build us a new building so that we can have all our programs and all our centers and all our activities under one roof in a state-of-the-art facility. So it's ambitious plans, but it's exciting, and I think in keeping with the caliber of the program that we have and that we're going to be. Now it is my great pleasure to introduce to you the president of the University of Maryland, Dr. C.D. Moe, Jr., who's going to say a few words and then introduce our special guests. Dan?
Thank you very much, Dean Kunkel. It's my very great pleasure, and in fact, I'm thrilled, as a matter of fact, to be here today. You know, it wasn't too many years ago that private philanthropy in higher education was focused almost entirely, almost uniquely on private universities. The idea that private universities needed private money was sort of in the culture of this country. But in recent years, it's become better understood that the great public universities of this country also need private philanthropy. And in fact, this venture philanthropy, that is, gifts that can make the difference, make it an opportunity for a university to make itself truly excellent, that is, the best in the country, requires a partnership between the private philanthropists, the visionaries, the people who really can make the difference, and the faculties and administrations and the states that essentially these universities support. For over 2 years, the Merrills, Phil and Ellie Merrill, have been in discussion with me, and for many years before that, about what it would take in order for this College of Journalism to be #1 in the country. That is, what is that margin of excellence that would energize additional fundraising from the private sector and additional supports from the state for facility and other things that will essentially lift it from its very high position currently to, in fact, the top echelon of journalism colleges in the United States. And this gift is essentially a resolution of all of that discussion. If there's anything about Phil Merrill, it's about excellence. Excellence in journalism, excellence in higher education, excellence for education in general throughout the state of Maryland and, in fact, throughout the country. He's totally committed to that notion. And because of that sense, a sense of that importance, and because of the special opportunity we have here, is what I call our unfair advantage of being the principal journalism school in the state, the unfair advantage we have about being located next to Washington, D.C., basically the world's capital, the media outlet, the media center for the world, and brokering these special opportunities are going to raise us to the top. So this seed money, as it were, this gift, this nudge, this drive is going to be, as history will show, the crucial factor that essentially caused this journalism school and its faculty and administration to lift it to the top. And in the history of the University of Maryland, as in the history of any university, by the way, there always a small group of philanthropists that essentially have made the difference. And I don't care whether you're talking about Cornell or Berkeley or Maryland, there's always a small handful of people that can be identified as making the difference. And some of you may in fact be that in the future as well. I would not doubt that for a millisecond, by the way. But Philip Merrill and Ellie Merrill are making the difference, not only for the College of Journalism, but also for the university. Phil and Ellie, would you please come forward?
Thank you. That was very nice to say.
Now, I think you're supposed to say something now. If I left anything for you to say.
He didn't leave anything for me to say, but I am a scholarship kid, as is Ellie, and so we understand what it takes to get through college under difficult or strained circumstances. It is our hope, he has it right, that this is an investment. I'm an entrepreneur, that this is an investment that will pay off like any other entrepreneurial investment, except it's an investment in excellence in this university and in this school. And we'll know whether it's successful or not if a decade from now, you all, mostly students here, look back and say, boy, am I really proud to be a graduate of the best journalism school in the country. I have every confidence that under Dan Moat and Tom Kunkel, that is going to happen, and that is why this grant. So I wish you all well, and I'll look forward to seeing you back here in 10 years to find out.
You have to come back. No, I just, with the Board of Visitors,
She's been chairman for a long time.
Get occasionally, as you may know, to have breakfast or lunch with the students, and I've been always tremendously impressed and hope that we'll keep equaling the wonderful students we have now and just give them better opportunities, even though your opportunities now are fine. Thank you all.
I would just like to close by saying that we are incredibly proud of the people of this college, the faculty, the staff, the administrators, and you don't hear it enough, but we are incredibly proud of the students. You are far and away, as a cohort, the brightest, sharpest group that has ever come into this profession. And thank God, because we need good journalists more than ever. And you represent the hope of tomorrow, and hopefully with this gift, we'll be able to help you be the best journalist you can be. So with that, I really want to thank you for coming out. Phil and Ellie have graciously agreed to stay for a while and meet some of you. There's free food and punch, so let's party. Thank you very much.